Up on our DoALL V36 vertical bandsaw, you can see we've got the drywall square here. The blade's in on about a 25-degree angle, as we mentioned yesterday. Continuous material length of 16 inches when we actually measured it. Haven't tested that, so maybe you can get a little bit more than 16 inches out of it. If we come in a little bit closer, you can see we've got brass guides in here. The brass doesn't work that well. With it being on a 25-degree angle, it pulls the blade back into the guides, into this bearing here, which is really nice because when it's 90 degrees, whether it's because of the tires being worn, but you can see how it wears into this piece here. So that's a work in progress as far as changing the tires and finding some better guide material. With the Hydemech vertical or the Hydemech horizontal bandsaw, it has carbide guides, and in the manual it says that the carbide guides require coolant all the time to prevent galling. If we go underneath here, when I said this was aluminum in the last video, it's actually cold rolled steel, this block. It's 1 inch, and if we go up a little bit higher, you can see just a little bit of where there's a plate for this insert that sits on the table. Obviously this one has a bandsaw cut in it. To set this up, it was easy. All we had to do is drop the guide on top with this, took the guide out, and the guide holder was easy to scribe a line and take the table, put it on the milling machine, bore a hole for 2-inch aluminum round bar, which makes it easy to make these guides up for different blade thicknesses, different blade widths. And there are some socket head cap screws that you can see a little faint bit of the end of the threads coming up through into the table, and there's jacking screws on the bottom of that plate in order to adjust the height of this so it's flush with the top of the table, which is nice because this here, the height varies a little bit. It's Bandsaw's 1941. The table does have some wear, so that's just part of having old tools, and they're going to have their limitations at times. Other things, there is a 1/4-20 bolt that we bent in order to hang the broom, which is nice because then you're not using the compressed air to blow chips around the shop. It's easy to just quickly clean off the table. Yesterday, this is actually the reason we turned the blade guide. We have this 10-foot length of aluminum to cut this piece here, which is about 65 inches long, and at its thickest part is about 3/4 of an inch. So in order to cut that, we would have had to have moved the bandsaw over, because as you can see, there's just a lot of stuff in the shop right now. So being able to rotate the guide actually allowed us to cut that without having to move the saw, which is really just handy coincidence. Other than that, we just do a little quick demo. With the mushroom switch off, it allows this to work as a jog function. And we'll just run it quick. That's the majority of what I can think of other than the cutting chart. One other feature has all the radii for different blade depths, different blade thicknesses, in order to see what kind of radius you can cut. So that's another handy feature we really love about this chart. This chart's easy to get from DoALL. It was less than 20 bucks. So that was a great investment if you have one of these older saws, just to have a handy reference right there. Until next time, thanks so much for all the support, and really appreciate if you'd like to subscribe. That would be great. But thanks for watching, commenting, and there's our community machinery behind the scenes if you want to see more technical content and tools, things that aren't frontline stuff that get posted on this channel, because we refurbed this bandsaw in-house. Felt like it was warranted to be front page news. So thanks again.